customers. They didn't necessarily think of all the steps that they must do. Every step that you must get right, and if you don't get it right at a commercial scale, you're going to fail. And you're probably going to fail at the worst time, when you're about ready to launch. Right after you found market fit, that's the point where you're going to fail. So we have assembled, and I think somebody said it, is partnership about the number, or is it about focus? And it's absolutely about the focus. It's about partners who have the expertise and kind of the that trusted relationship with us as a vendor, but also with the customer. And if I was to segment a few of them, so one of them is just simple system integration. Just help me build my app. Help me tie this into back-end systems that are using. If I'm not building a connected product, but I'm really building a connected business, how does the data from my connected product and information about my connected customer flow into the business system that I'm using to run my business? So a good example for that for us is Salesforce. So Salesforce is a really important partner of ours. You're getting on a plane tonight. I'm getting on one tomorrow morning. I'll be out there on the West Coast for their sales kickoff. If I look at Salesforce as a system of record, so they can resell Xively. They can resell Xively to their customers as a way to connect connected customers into the system of record in Salesforce. And they'll look at implementation where I started. They'll look at a lot of the implementation partners that they have and that we have to help kind of build that integration together. So you can see kind of this thread of focus. You have a connected product, you have a connected customer, you have a system of record, and you have an ecosystem of integrators that are familiar with working with a system of record, and it's not that hard to add IoT data into the mix.
So because I'm probably the dumbest guy in the room to simplify this,
Yeah.
some of your most successful partners are those that understand that the IoT quote-unquote solutions that we hope to sell and install and maintain and operate must be ingestible by existing IT platforms. Whatever the backbone is, the data backbone that runs the business today, whatever
Right.
business systems
Right.
are installed in these businesses today,
Right.
we've either got to be able to extract relevant data from those systems to enhance the IoT value proposition,
I think so.
or we've got to take data from the quote IoT system and stuff it inside that one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, to your point, and it depends if there's some startups here and then there's some established companies. So if I'm an established company that has lots of customers and I have a way of servicing those customers, engaging with those customers, and I want to interact with them in a new way I never could before, then that system integration becomes really important. And maybe for a startup, it's maybe something as simple as building an app and starting to think about how you use your data. But it's really, I guess when we go through that journey with our customers, we're just stepping back in the beginning and saying, what's the journey you're on? What's the business problem you're trying to solve? And often it really comes down to, if it gets caught up in technology, someone said it earlier, it's almost DOA, it's almost dead on arrival if it's a technology discussion. But when someone has a business construct that they're after, if it's enabling a connected farm, we have a great customer called Freight Farms. If you don't know them, they'll put an acre and a half of farmland in a box that fits on the back of a semi for growing leafy green vegetables. And you're in Colorado?
Yeah.
You can talk to them.
The other green.
The other green vegetable. But so they're an example of a startup that's doing innovative stuff. So Kimball Musk, Elon Musk's brother, has 100 of these things in Brooklyn doing a farming incubation system. So they're thinking about, their customers are companies who want to build, who want to bring local produce production into urban settings. And there are people who've never farmed before. So they want to think about, what's the best recipe for growing kale? If you grow kale right, you don't have to cut off the stems because it's not rough and hard to digest. You can eat it, for example. And there's ways to share information between different farmers for the right recipe for kale, lettuce, etc., to get that just right. They're a little bit more of a startup, and they're about collaborating around information and best practices. A company like Lutron, I think you mentioned Lutron, they're a customer of ours, talking with their CEO, Mike Pacina, at CES. Great guy, by the way. And what they think about is, how do, great line from him, says, if a customer is on the phone waiting to get in touch with us for more than 2 minutes, it goes to my office. My office gets notified. And we will never kick them off the line because we want to make sure our customers are serviced in a way that is totally delightful to them. And we think about that every day. So they're, much different profile. They're connected home, they're residential, but they're also, some commercial applications
Well, you're
there.
bringing up a good point. So I
It's
understand
about
what you're
customer
saying,
service.
But so you're going to another characteristic of some of your most successful partners, and that is IoT is not DIY. IoT is not taking a human out of the loop. You better have a damn good customer service function organization, or else you're probably not going to be successful.
Right.
Which brings me up to another question. To the traditional contractors or field service organizations that are turning wrenches, to mechanical contractors, HVAC, to the pipe benders, to the electricians, to the folks that are doing the greasy, dirty work in the field, do they matter in this environment? Are they a channel worthy of us paying attention to? Do they have a role to play?
They're huge, and I think that you ignore that group at your peril, because what we're finding with some of these connected devices is some of them are professionally installed and professionally maintained, and it's hard enough keeping up with my own technology, right? And if I'm thinking about a channel play, and as we're bringing, if you bring lighting, or we'll just use lighting as a simple example. The moment you introduce the alien technology of cloud connectivity to what was, essentially an electrician's job in the past, enabling that expert in the field who's, bases their business on their ability to service their customers, to get them onto your side is crucial. And I think that's where you'll probably see a lot around AR soon. And there's ways to, if you think about support, right? How does a channel support the customer? They may support the customer by being there physically on site. They may have alerts where they're notified of a problem and they're the first to know, first to act before a customer even knows what's happening. They may also have the way, like if they're notified before they roll the truck, they may want to remote into an app, or remote into a PC, or remote into the physical device, or maybe have a set of glasses on, if it's a HoloLens or View 6 glasses, that's one of our partners, where they can actually see a physical device experiencing the problem and be supported by somebody, an expert from anywhere in the world. And I think this is sort of this next level of the IoT, which is more than just connecting devices, but it's really creating these customer experiences. And that ability to engage with and connect with and support